What's up, guys? It's Simon. So today I'm going to share with you my holy days, and I'm going to try and explain them kind of relatively quickly. January 1st through 6th is Volkdene. January 4th is Day of Veals. January 6th is Beekden. January 17th through 18th is Fast of Morana. January 29th is a Day of Morana. January 31st until February 1st is Toise. Imbolc, February 2nd. I'm actually going to skip over the Sabbats, but know that I celebrate all 8 Sabbats and the Dark Moon and Full Moon Esbats as well. February 3rd through 11th is Pojenani Hirdil. February 4th happens during this as well, Day of Veals, and then another one, February 9th, Apollonia. Then February 29th is Day of Morana. March 4th is Day of Veals. March 24th is Medvedin. March 26th is Horet. March 29th is Day of Morana. April 4th is Day of Veals. April 12th through 19th is Cerealia. April 22nd is Gaia. That's just Earth Day, so I'm not going to explain that one. April 23rd is Festival of the Green Man. April 29th is Day of Morana. And May 1st, that's Beltane. May 4th is Day of Veals. May 15th is Hermea. May 29th is Day of Morana. June 4th is Day of Veals. June 9th is my familiar's birthday, so I do a little ritual there. I'm not going to go into that because later in the YouTube Pagan Challenge, there's going to be a question about familiars, and I'll make a side video on that. Day of the Lares is June 27th. Day of Morana is 29th. July 4th, Day of Veals. 29th, Day of Morana. August 4th, Day of Veals. 7th, Sclesian Bohovinik. 29th, Day of Morana. September 1st, the Hoodening. Day of Veals is the 4th. Panenka 18th, Day of Morana 29th. The 2nd is the Feast of the Guardians. 4th is the Day of Veals and the Festive Series. 9th is Duroc. 13th is Feast of Witches. 29th is the Day of Morana. And the 29th through the 31st is Samhain. November 4th is Day of Veals. November 11th is Den Volshve. November 16th is Hecatesia. November 21st is Fast of Morana. November 29th is the Day of Morana. December 4th is the Day of Veals, which is today. 9th through 20th is Yule, and the 29th is the Day of Morana, and the 31st is Kernosia. So, I'm going to go over the Veals first. So, Volkdene is Wolf Days in Czech, and this is where I give thanks for the animals in my life, whether they be friend or food. I honor Veals in his wolf aspect, and the wolf relates to wildlife, and its canine lineage relates to domestic animals. So both are being honored during this time, kind of similar to the second day of Samhain, only the honor is going to Veals, and I'm also honoring him in his wolf aspect, which is related to the warrior, or youth, or the boy. Beekden, 6th of January. This is the day of the bull, specifically meaning Bull Day. This is a day of fertility, so you'd wash yourself with the waters of this time, most likely snow, or do spell work with it. This is the father aspect as well. Blessing of the throats, which is Czech. In Czech, it's Pojenani Hrdil. This is actually the holy day for Saint Blaise, which is equivalent to Veals when the Christianization movement went on. So I tweaked it up to make it pagan and suit my beliefs. So over here we have going to be having where I anoint my throat chakra with throat chakra oil or power oil. And I'm going to take the 2 ivory candles that I prepared on the second Imbolc that have been crisscrossed and tied together with orange ribbon, ivory being of blessings, orange being of health. And I'm going to light them, put them towards my throat, and say the following blessing. Through the intercession of Veals, God of health, may he deliver me or you from every disease of the throat and every other illness by the healing powers of Veals Bodish. And that's basically Czech for, Bodish is basically Czech for let it be, so the Czech version of so mote to be and stuff like that. Bear Day is Medvědin. This is where I honor him in his bear aspect. In Czech, the bear is kind of sacred to the forest, so he's kind of related to the king of the forest, grandfather of the forest. So I kind of attribute this to being the sage aspect of Veals. This is where I will put out gratitudes of honey, mead, bread, or wine. August 7th, Sklizien Bohovinik, which means harvest warrior. This is where I'm going to do, breaking of the bread ritual, eating bread and stuff like that, giving thanks for the harvest. This is where I'll burn my bob barley. That's what I call the little grain dolly that I make, which is typically called John Barleycorn. This is also where I'll perform my warrior meditation, which you can research. I think it's on paganabout.com. Apollonia. This I don't have much for this just yet, but I'm going to be doing I'm going to say something as a good morning, 2 Veals, and a good night, and maybe some more, just I don't have anything else yet. 15th is Hermea, 15th of May, that is. This is where I'll be doing a lot of physical activities, mental activities. Maybe I'll try and play online chess or something. This is also when I'll try and do some, maybe some simple gambling and some daring activities. Where was I? Oh, September 1st is, the hoodening. Oh wait, I skipped one. Kernosia is December 31st. This can be where I rid myself of bad habits. Me off. So as I said, that's gonna be a very profound banishing ritual day for me. September 1st is the feast of Kernonos. This is the hoodening. This is where I'm going to ideally dress up like a stag and basically just dance and be merry, eat a very gamey meat meal or beef, and drink wine, honey, or mead. Oh no, not drink honey, but have honey, probably on bread or something. So now we're gonna switch over to the holy days of Morana. So we start off with January 17th and 18th being the Fast of Morana. This is where I'll only eat from sundown until I either go to bed or until sunrise, whichever comes first. This is also a time where I meditate in the cold during the day. Not necessarily for the whole time, but maybe a few times, or at least one profound, lengthy period of time during the day. On coldness itself, on death, hunger, and starvation. I'm gonna feel the energy of Morana and in her realm of darkness. So basically what I'm doing is just immersing myself in her world and gaining wisdom from it and having gratitude that I have the choice to do this. It's not something I'm forced to do. I have food on my table every day, and just remember to be grateful, and I have a warm home to live in, and that's kind of what that is. At least that's how I feel fast is supposed to be, so that's how I'm executing that. Ooh, I just spat. Ooh. Every 29th is the day of Morana. Oh, that's something I didn't mention. Every 4th is the day of Veals, so what I do is I'll light a candle in honor of him, and I have a charge that I've personally created for him. Same thing for the days of Morana. I'm gonna light a candle in her honor and say a specific charge that I've created for her. That those will not be something that I will share because they're kind of private and sacred. 31st to 1st of February, the January 31st until the 1st of February is Toise, which is Czech for church. I mean, not church, torch. This is where I The crone passes the torch, meaning the sun to the maiden. This is that transitional period of Morana being a triple goddess, at least in my in my depiction. And I associate Brigid being the maiden, Ceres being the mother, and Hecate being the crone. Now with Veles, it's Apollo being the warrior, Cernunnos being the father, and Hermes being the sage. So this is when this is when Morana regenerates from crone to maiden again. And I'm gonna light probably just 2 birthday candles. Have a black birthday candle, being the crone aspect, letting it burn down, and then, or rather lighting it and using it to light the white birthday candle, being Brigid's candle or the maiden candle. And I'm going to do this at midnight, and then I'm just going to let it burn down. Well, actually, we're going to fast forward to September 18th, which is Panenka, which this is Czech for doll. Basically, at this point, I make a corn dolly for Morana to inhabit for the dark/cold seasons. This is 3 days before I celebrate Mabon on the 21st, so this is basically, kind of related to what the Czechs do. They have this dolly that they make. They actually make it on what we would call Ostara, and then they burn it on that day as well. But for me, I'm doing it in regards to staying safe and protected and healthy, where the dolly takes on all the negativity of the season. Excuse me. And so I say this little chant, and it's, "Hear me, great goddess," referring to Morana, of course. "Protect my home, let no harm come to me or my loved ones. By magic of old be it done." So then, back to where I was, March 26th, which is now when we're in the new year. I have Horet, which is Czech for burn. This is the time to burn the dolly, to dispose of the negative energies collected through the cold, dark season. And I say this little chant: "Goddess, let me be blessed with your guiding light, to light my way and lead me into a new day, one of love, abundance, and creativity. By the goddess, blessed be." And of course, goddess is referring to Morana. Now, if you can realize, that other one is kind of to be in reference to Hecate, whereas this one is a little more reference to Brigid, or rather the maiden aspect and the crone aspect. Cerealia is a time. This is going to be very different from the research you'll find on it, because it's just not easy for me to replicate the exact activities of that day. So what I have myself doing here is baking grainy breads and dishes. I'm going to meditate every day about the importance of the land, and I'm going to try and harvest something, and definitely profound meal blessings will be going on during this time as well. So this is actually the blessing I'm going to be using for Cerealia. "O goddess of the harvest, I thank you for this meal. Each bite that I take connects me to you. Eating your fruits and vegetables revitalizes my entire body. Becoming one with your ever-animate spirit revitalizes my entire being. Bountiful Lady, thank you for your blessings. Harvest Mother, thank you for your gifts." This is honoring her agricultural aspect, which is usually neglected. September 18th, again, we go back to Panenka, as I mentioned earlier. October 4th is the Fast of Ceres. Again, this is a harvest celebration, the agricultural aspect of Morana. This is where I'll only drink liquids from sunrise to sunset. Then I'll eat all that I can until I go to bed or sunrise. And I focus on gratitude while eating. I'm blessed to have food, some don't. That's really what I'm focusing on. So again, I'm being grateful for the people who provided this food for me, be it Mum, myself, and the people who harvested and work in factories and all that prepared it for me. and thinking about the homeless, and I may try and incorporate giving to the homeless in some way, or food banks. November 16th is Hecatesia. This is where I honor Morana in her ever-changing, transitioning aspect. This is also going to be during the crossroads. Now, this is a combination of a few holy days. November 30th is Hecate of the Crossroads. That's where I'm pulling from mostly. November 16th is the night of Hecate, and Hecatesia. I don't think I could have I don't think I've found a date for that. So that's why I kind of just combined them all together to form this. So what I'm going to be doing here is leaving a gratitude of either a cake with mini torch being birthday candles, honey or bread or garlic, fish, eggs, or cheese. Or a few of those will be left in her honor. And I will say, Goddess of the crossroads, of the times of change and transition, of the in-between, I come here tonight in your honor, and I leave you this gratitude. May you always be here to guide me through my transitions. Blessed be. And the last one is the November 21st fast of Morana. This is going to be the repeat as the other fast. And then there's 2 more days of Morana. And then that's pretty much it. So, thank you for watching, and as always, blessed be my dear witchlings. So while editing, I realized that I forgot to explain some of the holy days to you. So, like I said, April 22nd is Gaia, which is just Earth Day. 23rd of April is Festival of the Green Man. That's gonna be where I'll probably light a little candle. Maybe I'll say something, and probably also do a nature walk, and I might try and eat vegetarian that day. Just really eat earthy. My familiar's birthday, as I said, I'm gonna do a little ritual, but I'm gonna explain that later. Day of the Lares is household spirits and guardians. So that's gonna be like your house brownie, the fae of your household plants. I think I've also heard it refer to your garden spirits. So if you have a garden out there, you can incorporate them in this holy day as well. If you have a hearth goddess or god, I don't think there are hearth gods, but if there is and you have one, or maybe a god that protects your home, then you can incorporate them in this holiday as well. So what you want to do is revamp any altars and shrines that you have set up, clean them, rededicate them and decorate them, and then put gratitudes on them. Maybe give them some extra since it's their special day. You're basically just honoring and thanking them for all that they do for you and helping you out with your day-to-day life. Feast of the Guardian Spirits. This is different. Don't let the name confuse you. Guardian Spirits is actually referring to your animal totems, spirit guides, and things of that nature. Durock, that is Irish for dedication, so that is my anniversary day for the day that I dedicated myself to the craft. Feast of the Witches, that's basically my version of Occult Day, which is November 18th. I just didn't resonate with that date at all. I kind of figured that if we're going to have something honoring us, that it should be on our sacred month, and or rather our most prominent active month, and on 13, since 13 is such a prominent number for us. Den Volsve is the last one. That is check for Day of the Witches. That is not the same as Witches' Feast Day. This is actually an honorary day to the witches that were killed, and I believe it was called Yara's Courthouse or Yara's Court. If you type in Yara's Court on Google, you'll be able to read up on it, and it was pretty hectic. So it was kind of like a witch hunt, basically. So this is officially it. As you can probably tell, I've had some difficulty recording this with all of the transitions I've going on. If you stuck it out through the whole thing, thank you so much. And as always, blessed be my dear witchlings.